It's me and Chris, and James might be here later. We're Warp Charge Gaming. This is episode 119, and we like to talk to you guys weekly, 119 times in fact.
And 119.
Yeah.
Don't ask what happened to episode 113, or was it 14? Who knows?
Yeah, they better don't ask. But yeah, happy to be back. Another great week in the world of miniature wargaming. Chris, you've been playing some games, which has been an update for sure, right?
But no, my first game is Saturday, actually.
Oh, you're prepping for it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
You're facing AdMech, right?
I'm excited. I get to play against the new AdMech models, and then on top of that, I get to actually play 9th edition. I'm literally currently in study mode of all right, well, what does AdMech do, and what secondary should I pick? Probably. I mean, all that depends on the mission, of course, and stuff like that. But as someone dipping their toe into 9th edition 40K, finally, I'm stoked. I've got my list set up.
Yeah. As we get just a little bit later in the year, come October, it's going to be a whole nother thing to be experiencing at that. I'm glad that you're excited. I know that it's funny the stages where we've been doing some pod systems. You just moved to a new location, right? You're in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yes.
Yeah.
When we were driving up here, some of the roads in the mountains were kind of familiar. I'm pretty sure some of them may have been some of the same roads where our first trip to Chicago.
Yeah.
We may have had some issues with the weather.
I hated how we were trying to go west, and it felt like we were just going north up into the end, in this treacherous location. We were just excited, man. We just hit the road and said, "Go, map, go," and it took us the northern route. We're jumping right in, friends. Hopefully, most of the folks that watch this particular show, episode 119, like to tune in each week, I hope, and our friends of a long time now. But we talk about Warhammer 40K and just other Games Workshop games. Really, the only game that's not Games Workshop that we cover is Infinity. Recently, as just of last week, and now another week's gone by, Necromunda got added to the title. And that has been an adventure, and really where a lot of my brain has been attending. And I think it's funny that Chris is finally getting to rock some games, and I'm excited for that. But I played a shit ton of games since 9th dropped, and we've had a lot of coverage on the channel. One of the exciting things that happened, Chris, that I am very proud of, and it's probably my peak fun moment so far in 9th, was winning round 1 of the finals for our pod series. With demons, with pure chaos demons, and that's
interesting.
Mm-hmm. That was our mix. We talked a little bit about it last week, but that was really what brought me the most joy. Was our top 8 that we've been talking about the pod series. Warp Charge Gaming throws many events, and this year in 2020, it was a challenge to how were we going to do that. As of March, and since then, the store closed down and opened back up during the quarantine period, July 1st, and we for 2 months ran a pod series, and it's continuing now. We're already in season 2, halfway through, but basically 8 people sign up and a pod launches, and that's a qualifier round to try to achieve 8 unique finalists to have a finals invitational, and every pod is a single elimination. You lose and you're out. Well, the exciting thing about the finals, we finally got to 8 unique winners, I being one of them, after 12 pods. It took 12 pods with Austin and Sean Sundberg were 2 players that won multiple times and nudged out other people from being unique winners, raised the finalist prize pool. And my pod 7 was the final pod to finish in the original 12. That was what synced me in there after beating Daniel's Orcs. Funny enough, Dan and his Orcs had already achieved making it to the final, so his loss didn't stop him. And that made my Space Wolf list that had won in pod 13 go into season 2 finals. So all very exciting, very cool. But I made it. But the finals round, and I've said finals and pods a bunch of times now, are it was at the very first round. It would be single elimination. So even after winning 3 games in a row, if you lost your 4th game, you're out. You made it to the finals, but you're out. And that was like, whoa.
Get wrecked.
Yeah, intense. So it was very nervous, and I faced the Salamanders from my friend Sean Sundberg, who had won multiple pods with the Salamanders, and I had not beat him yet. ever with my. He beat me twice with my Space Wolves, and he hadn't fought my demons yet. And the demons list is real cheeky. It's just like it's a anti-meta, like a wild card list. It's a old strategy. Go ahead.
That's something that's really interesting to me because I was actually discussing in another chat just today, you know, like the weird flavors of armies that are emerging and how we expect it to all get shaken up. And I was commenting myself how I really wish, like, we know the new release schedule for 2020 at least is a handful of Marines, Death Guard, and Necrons. But I was really wishing in my heart of hearts that the first non-loyalist Space Marine, non-Imperial release was going to not be another Marine derivative faction. You know, like, I was really hoping if we got Chaos, it was going to be Chaos Demons first, not Death Guard.
Sure.
And I've seen multiple people complain, like, dude, Demons are in such a weird place, such a wonky place. The only build that people are starting to see emerge is the Keeper of Secrets spam with the Exalted Demon stuff. And that's one of those weird Gambity lists. I don't know that's exactly what you're running, but
it has one. Like, it's strong, you know. Besides the Keeper, just the Celeste heroes. I said Celeste trying to the Slaanesh heroes. Celeste is one of my favorites. Celeste is a bomb of a character. I mean, it's just to rattle off its attack abilities. One, that Celeste, for relatively the same price as a Demon Prince, has a Demon Prince stat line, but I think it moves 9 instead of 8 without wings. And so it's a little bit faster. Always fights first with a Quicksilver, a Slaanesh ability. Can advance and charge if a pure Slaanesh detachment. That's all the one benefits. But Celeste itself has both the Demon Prince ability and the Herald ability. So both gives +1 strength to other Slaanesh and has reroll 1s. And then on top of that has the Axe of Dominion and then the Whip. And they both get 2 separate attacks. That first you fight with the Axe, and then you pile in and consolidate and fight again with the other weapon.
Cool.
And the 8, it's 8 base attacks, 8 base, and that's with the Axe of Dominion. It's like strength 8 -3, 3 damage flat. That's 8 attacks that way. There are 2s to hit, rerolling 1s. That's so nasty. And
that's good.
Yeah, and then after you've made those, then you do 8d3 attacks, which that turns out to be like 16, 17 attacks. Like on average, you rock like 16 attacks after you've already done 8 3 damage attacks. And you're like, wow, it's just Blender style, you know? But man, in the game, my list, Chris, is a Keeper of Secrets, Celeste, a Contorted Epitome. So it's using those 3 Slaanesh heroes in an undivided battalion with 3 units of barebone Nurgling squads, right?
Okay,
so
that's interesting.
So it's undivided chaos. Usually people would force a pure Slaanesh detachment so they can get the advance and charge. But where I actually went pure is I made a Khorne patrol detachment that's pure Khorne with 1 Demon Prince of Khorne with a Skull Reaver Axe, which is a Titan Slaying Relic. And it does D6 damage, doesn't make a -1 to hit to swing the axe, and on 6s to wound do D3 mortal wounds per D6. And against Titans, he rerolls all wounds. So he's a beast, and he's like strength 11 on the charge or some shit. So he's a beast, got like 6 attacks plus the Malefic Talon. But that bad boy, he's giving reroll. The pure Khorne Locust is reroll charges. So he's giving reroll charges to the nearly 1,000 points of deep strikes that I do. And here's just how weird this list is. I hit the table with 0 command points. I spend all 12 before hitting the table. 8 of them are on deep strikes. And so that's the bold move. It's like, all right, I got 0 command points. I got this weird ass list where 1,000 points are in reserve, and it's 2 units of 8 blood crushers with icons and instruments and a banner of blood, and a unit of 20 bloodletters with a banner, an instrument, and an icon.
And banner of blood is what, 3d6 charge?
It's a 3d6 charge once per game, and the instrument gives them +1 to that, so they're basically an 8-inch charge 3d6 coming from reserve with a reroll with the Khorne Demon Prince, or to spend a command point reroll all 3. And
I certainly see why you're doing that.
Now the other thing is that it's all banked on the ones. There's the Psychic Awakening, the Engine War book was pretty shit-tastic. Like there's a lot to complain about, but that's what gave us Exalted Demons, basically, right? And they gave us some stratagems, and most of them are pretty piss poor, and they're very unit specific. However, we did get Nurgle Infestation, which is incredible. It's literally every time you lose like at the end of a phase, any phase that you've lost Nurgling bases, you spin the strat for 1, and on 5 ups you get Nurgling bases back.
Right.
So like if you have a 9-man Nurgling unit and they kill like 6 of them, you roll 6 5-ups. You roll 6 dice to roll 5-ups to bring the bases back. It's really devastating as far as screenage goes. But the man, you got to watch, Chris, the finals game. It was so hardcore fighting the Salamanders. I never beat them. They're super powerful right now, right? It's like a meta army. He had Eradicators, he had the Impulsor, he had the fucking Judicar, he had all the sauce, right? But that 1,000 points coming in from reserve with those 3d6 charges, there's an Engine War strat that's called like a Brass Stampede or Thunderous Stampede, and it gives the Blood Crushers.
Charge thing, isn't it?
It gives them a nasty charge benefit, and it basically, if you successfully charged, you choose a unit within 1 inch of each model of the Blood Crushers, and on a 2+, you cause a mortal wound. On a 6, you cause D3 mortal wounds. So you make a 14-inch charge or something like that, and rock all those guys in. You're getting 8 D3 mortal or 8 mortal wounds potentially. You get it. I usually rock 6 or 7. But if you kill the target, you then get to charge again, which gets super crazy. And so the thing that's been surprising about it, turn 1, I'm literally just hiding the Slaanesh heroes. And what I've been doing is I've been using the Lookout Sir keyword rule as basically my terrain in a sense. Is that I'll try to place the terrain so that it's like just beyond a little bit closer than 3 inches beyond my deployment zone. And then I'll put the Nurgling in that terrain piece where they're out of line of sight with obscuring, but their base is just 3 inches from my deployment line where I can get the characters touching it. So you make it so that your Nurgling are beyond your deployment zone, can't be seen and targeted, and your characters can be just staring people right in the face, and they can't shoot it unless they can kill one of the Nurgling bases.
I got you, and that makes sense. I was actually going to ask to what end you're using the Nurgling's Infiltrator ability, because one of the things that I'm seeing recently, in my research of 9th edition, is that units that can infiltrate, or like just have a really fast move on turns if you go first. It's a very strong ability, and this is something we're kind of aware of. Like that's why flyer spam was good. But if you can block your opponent into their movement zone, or in their deployment zone,
yeah. So that's the surprising thing about the army is what keeps surprising me. It's not necessarily the killing output, even though it does a good job at it. It's surprising how much of when you literally null your first turn with the Slaanesh heroes, and then when you drop all that corn in their face, you usually I'll do a unit of Bloodletters and 1 unit of Crushers, and then turn 3 I'll do the other unit of Crushers, so that I can use a strat each turn. Turn 2, turn 3. And what's gross is just that when you hit them with that first line, it gives your Slaanesh guys freedom to just come up as the bully, the midfield bully, and they can't even take back their objective without the Slaanesh guys there to just wreck them right back after that.
So I'm curious with that. Do you find yourself picking the same secondaries often?
Every time. And this is another argument. There's a lot of folks that have been that are banking or building lists and learning how to play the action-based secondaries, and I think that's more power to them. I've been crutching myself on the same ones every time and build it because I usually build a list that's pure offense. Every single thing is meant to do something, and standing and doing nothing is not an option. It's basically just a waste. So I'm always engaged in all fronts, grind them down, bring them down. These are what I'm looking for.
These are things that you're probably going to be scoring anyway, based off where you are. Yeah. Based off of the fact you need to kill stuff. Like your list is aggro.
It's
so
just
you're trying
kill.
to. Yeah.
It's kill. It's like domination is a great one for me. The demons list usually is mid-tier, mid-point scoring. Like it only scores like half the available points. It just denies. Every time they try to take back the objective, here's the next unit of Blood Crushers. Here's the Slaanesh bullies that have been hiding, and it just keeps them off the objectives the entire game. To where by the end of it, we're both nearly tabled, but they haven't scored any points the whole game. Dude, it wasn't like a masterful strategy. It was literally just like, well, 3d6 charges sure are good. You know, and I just spent all the cash on it. It's literally 8 CP to do the 3 Banners of Blood and the 3 Denizens of the Warp, and then you pay for your patrol detachment. You pay for the Exalted trait, which I take -1 to wound on the Keeper of Secrets from shooting, and then you pay for your extra relic, which I take the Forbidden Gem and the Contorted. In the Salamanders game, dude, I freaking the beats. I use these Nurglings to just stand on the front line and just barely, narrowly not have him kill a Nurgling base to be able to target my characters, and it just shut off all his army because he only had a limited access of what could see the Nurglings, and he just barely didn't get enough wounds through to take the base away. Because if you only put a unit of 3 down, kill 1 base, and now you can target the character.
Yeah.
And I just barely escaped from losing my Demon Princes on the line on turn 1 because he couldn't kill a Nurgling base, and slammed him into his fucking front lines that he wasn't expecting to have to deal with. And Contorted got up in there because I give the Contorted the Warlord trait to give +3 move. So it's a 15-inch move on the Contorted. So
Contorted.
I don't even try to fight. I'm really just trying to slam it in with all my good shit, though, to lock everything up in combat. Because, it's within 6 inches, you got to make a 3d6 leadership to fall back.
Yeah.
Plus, the Slaanesh heroes, once they come in and bully, it's awesome for the new meta with the Judicars and the fight last mechanics. Because, then they just turn that into fighting at priority with their natural fight first. So they're a great, backup where they're dealing with all these blood crushers and things, smacking them hard, and then the Slaanesh just come in and overwhelm. It's been wild, so I'm really looking forward to round 2. I'm not sure who I'm going to end up fighting. Speaking of pods and rounds, I'm getting ready on Sunday to fight the round 3 match of the Age of Sigmar pods. I'm about to try to make it into the finals there. Austin Wingfield, also one of our finalists in the 40Ks, and had won 5 pods. Guy's an expert player. And
what a monster.
He also is in love with Sigmar and is just starting. It's fun to see Austin play Sigmar because he loves and relishes the fact that he doesn't know anyone's rules. So he just kind of laughs jollily that I don't know what anything does, and he just kind of goes for it. And he's playing the Ma tribes with the big woolly mammoths, with the ogres riding them. So it's going to be behemoth battles, 5 bloodthirsters. I got a few pictures. I'll pull them up of just the some cool things. One, I don't know if last week I showed you the badass corn board. Austin actually gave it to us. This is on stream, and we actually used this, Chris, in that Salamanders match. I want you to definitely check it out. It was fucking good 40K. All right, so on the screen right now, you can catch. This is what the board looked like that Austin and I played with. It's a little bit different than that, but that's the terrain. Austin donated this to the store. It's awesome. And that's my 5 bloodthirsters. So cool. You usually can only have 4 in the game, but because of the Wrath of the Ever-Chosen book, I'm able to bring 5 with the Baleful Lords detachment, and this has been doing work. I had a great game against Skaven that wasn't on film. Had to play it fast, and it was down to the very last moments. We both doubly turned each other, and it was just a wild and crazy big. Sigmar is so cool because it forces the big high risk plays. You're in a situation where everything's so powerful that you realize if you don't go for it, you're gonna just lose, and it just sets that up a lot, So there's those big type moments, Let's see, that is not what I wanted to show. More of the bloodthirsters up close. Yo, check. Oh yeah, there's the full list there. 5 bloodthirsters, the Skull Altar, Slaughter Priest. But yeah, I'm gonna play that against the Ma tribe, the big woolly mammoth guys. Here's some pictures of that. It's gonna be exciting. That's on Sunday. We mentioned as the channel busted off, I might as well show you guys this now, but just yesterday I stayed up super late. I'm really tired right now, actually. Playing Necromunda. Here's this badass board that we made. We made a Zone Mortalis board using the Game Matter U terrain and a little bit of Death Ray design walls there, as well as some Kill Team Arena doors. So we made a custom Zone Mortalis board. Here's another one we did with some gray unpainted actual Zone Mortalis pieces. Another Kill Team Arena board set there. But I got a campaign going with 10 people right now that my buddy Dalton's running, and having a great time learning. I started out with Venerators, which is like a build your own kind of create your own adventure clan or gang. And I showed you guys this last week. I was turning these cool Marauder 40K conversions into Necromunda Venerator Gang, and then I moved on to these Age of Sigmar models, which I did a little bit of hobbying, crazy enough. I put some sandy bases down and some rocks. I need to fucking dry brush it and shit. I just think these.
My God, did you just say what I think?
I know. I tried to say it.
It's a weird thing to even hear. But good for you, George.
I know, man. Thanks. James, who's not on right now, he painted these guys way better than I could paint anything.
Dude, I'm here.
Oh, James, you made it. You made it, dude.
I was being here in secret.
Oh,
Stealth
shit.
mode.
All right, I'm setting the cameras up to where we can see your pretty face. How are you, James?
Dude, I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, dude. Yeah, I got you, and this is cool. Yeah, I just did a little bit of hobby stuff, you know? I did a little.
It sounds so crazy, bro.
Yeah, you actually, I'm going to bring the picture back up. You had done the, this badass bird. There's two birds there that are on these, like, big rocks. The guy on the far right with the little raven and the big one with his wing spread. James painted those up for me and did these badass basing job. I've started to match your basing, James, and I need to do some dry brushing and whatnot to end Agrax Earth Shade or some shit. I need to wash it.
Oh man, he even knows the names of the washes now.
Maybe some Nuln oil, huh?
Good. I don't know if I like this idea or not.
I know, right? It's crazy, but this is again back
to this of a Skaven game not on camera. If George doesn't play games on camera, do they really happen?
Oh, good. It's fair, Chris or James, dude. I should have played it on camera because it was so good and I regretted it. It was painted and everything. Just my buddy he was like really trying to shove it in between stuff he had to do during that day. So we just played Fast and Furious, but I regretted it not being on camera. It was damn good. Sadness. Now I feel bad. But we are going to film the Austin game, which will be really cool and fun. Even though I think Austin's mammoths aren't painted yet, so it's going to be a little sad face about that. But the Bloodthirster's going to look badass. James, I don't know if you saw the new Chaos board we have, dude, but it's sick.
Yeah, I saw it, bro.
Yeah, it
I've
rocks.
been here for about like 5-10 minutes.
Okay, just checking. Well, I'm using the Gellerpox again. I haven't been playing Kill Team, but playing the shit out of Necromunda. Instead of doing the Venerator Gang, I ended up figuring out I could use the Gellerpox models as Slave Ogren dedicated to Nurgle. And it's cool that the game, this is kind of the charm of the game, is that whatever kind of narrative you get excited about and that you want to do, just like in D&D, some people want to be the Berserker or the Bard or the Wizard or whatever, I can be a Nurgle Chaos Freak. So, hell yeah. My tentacle arms, I can call WYSIWYG with the Slave Ogren rule set. They get to have augmented weapons that are as you build your list or add them to your list, you have to take that augmentation out the gate. So my crazy tentacle arms make sense to be augmented fist, which is a great weapon profile. And then the Vulgar Thrice Curse model, I gave him the Arc Welder, which is like this, a welding weapon that's infused into his body and it causes people to light on fire. So it makes sense. Perfect stuff. So having a good time. We played a game last night and we ended up with a Slave Ogren who have no guns. They just throw grenades and they have nasty close combat weapons. Ended up fighting my opponent in a Zone Mortalis board, which is ultra close confines, and we got up close and personal. Did some major destruction with the Slave Ogren last night. So got a big leap into the campaign. And if anybody's getting excited about maybe seeing some Warp Charge content with this, this is the training stage. I've literally dropped over 30 hours of reading time into the Necromunda rule sets. There are so many fucking books.
Wow.
It is so sloppy and convoluted of a rule system. It kind of disgusts me. But at the same time, it's pretty incredible. It's all about the players. They have to choose to make the game work. Which is traditional.
Isn't there a PDF or something with all this stuff organized in a much better fashion than Games Workshop put it in?
Yes. There's a comprehensive rulebook. If you just type in Necromunda comprehensive rulebook, you basically can have access to all the rules for free. As there's an amazing community out there that's already put everything together, like Chris described. But it gets really confusing. It's because there's times you need to confirm. Well, one, the document's incredible too because it gives all these FAQs and suggestions that the community has came up with, and there's just a ton of house rules amongst every community, as far as how to play the game more in a more fun way. I'm not doing good at seeing my comments, Chris. You'll have to keep us in tune with that.
Towdark says hi.
Ah, hey Towdark. I want to see the comments. Try to get my phone talking here. Nice. Hello. Yeah, so Necromunda is cool, but I think it's very important that it's played in a campaign and that there is a nice narrative written into the campaign more than just battle after battle telling the tale. There needs to be like side objectives and things that the factions are like working together to accomplish in their own ways, or else it becomes much too much of a let's just skirmish. And if you're going to play a skirmish game inside the Necromunda environment, then it's broken. The moment people take XYZ weapons that is just absolutely not balanced, then the game breaks. Which it's okay that if everybody has access to the same broken tools, then it just kind of works out. But it's just the problem that it's not just that, it's just that the same things become rinse, repeat, auto take. And there's not even like, well, you got your style of broken, and I got my style of broken. It's all that, oh, let's all just take this same shit because it's the best, you know?
I mean, you even mentioned like your last gang, like you can loot weapons from things, so it makes sense that you would be exposed to like the same weapons between gangs, considering that actually taking things is a mechanic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the web technology for that, the Venerators were crazy because they could start out with anything in the game, and turns out there's some really gross shit. But yeah, it's great, but I'm also like I really am just wasting time until the new edition of Infinity comes out. I mean, like the game is sloppy. It's poorly supported. There literally is no army. There's this Yak tribe that is the creme de la creme gang builder, and it is severely it's not updated. Like my Slave Ogren, the new Goliaths, like several gangs just aren't in there, or the points are wrong, or it doesn't tell you if you're valid or not valid. It's clunky, and it just isn't accurate, you know?
That's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. So you end up having to do a bunch of shit on spreadsheets, you know, or try to customize it in the app, and it's just a clunky experience and very confusing.
People watching, try out Necromunda. Share with us your thoughts on the game, because I want to play, and this is not the ringing endorsement I want to hear.
Yeah, I get that, and a lot of people. My one buddy keeps telling me, "Well, you keep describing it like you're trying to play match play," and I'm like, "No, I'm just trying to like play the game without having auto take decisions." And like where I become okay with it again is that I just truly believe that GW has been the only reason this game's like alive and well and that there's such a big fan base is because those people have made social contracts amongst their group where they've discovered how to play the game that's fun for them. They've brought in, and that it's very meldable. Like GW made it very open-ended, just like go have fun. They created like a GM style scenario, and he makes the decisions of what you're allowed to have access to and what you're not. And I realize now that if I want to run my own Necromunda campaign, that there is a lot of effort to go into making it easy to digest and understand how you're going to progress and what's legal and what's not. I'm trying to see. It's definitely as much RPG as it is a tabletop. Yeah, that's where it really shines. You have to, and again, the more that you have objectives that aren't just kill each other, the more that game's going to shine. And that requires a good story. And so what I've started to do now, and what I'd love to get some feedback from other people, is I'm starting to look for the multi-day events that go down at cons. Like I just looked up the 2020 Necromunda pack for Nova Open, and because they didn't have Nova, they sent it out. And it was a great campaign that shows like how they would do, how your starting gang gets built and how they progress over a 3-day period with multiple games happening that day. And there's some cool things to glean from it, and some clarity and FAQ that they write for their own campaigns. So I'm starting to try to find like other people that have already like spent a lot of time and effort to come up with like brilliant campaigns and FAQs in their own systems to follow for our own crowd here. Because I think if you just let everybody go wild, you turn into a rinse repeat, or there's the power gamer who studies harder than other people and realizes what's the best and just wrecks everybody. I love the progression.
Definitely crack some builds.
Yeah, I'm looking at Paul. See, I love the progression of my characters back when I played. I think that's where the Crusade stuff evolved from. Yeah. I think the progression is super fun. Like I'm loving it too. It just it's hard not to want to take certain profiles because it just is the best thing, and that makes me sad. And I just think they need to limit that ability, and there's certain things that just they need balancing out. And as long as the players accept that that's what they're getting into, then it's no big deal. But anybody that wanted to act like the game is able to be played with a good, clean fight is silly. That's not necessarily the case. Yeah, I don't know. Rant over. I'm tired and rambling. Excuse me.
Hey, I mean, you mentioned Crusade. Games Workshop even teased, like they're obviously doing more Crusade Crusade campaign kind of support. They just teased the other day. Sisters are getting some, I think everyone's getting Crusade only, like requisition point stratagems and stuff like that. So that's kind of interesting because I mean, I know the Crusade system's had like a lot of popularity from everyone I've seen that's engaged it. Mm-hmm. But even then, like a lot of that's kind of more like almost like narrative play. I think what a lot more people are interested to see, and I think it's something that is good to crack out the gates for 9th edition 40K, is they've announced they're changing how auras work.
Bro, this is the one thing I wanted to talk about this whole show.
James,
go for it. Yeah, I don't even know what's going on. I pretty much, okay. Just to make clear, I pretty much I'm waiting until fucking 40K resolves itself and actually becomes the game it's supposed to be.
Hey, I'm with you on that one, George, because it definitely needs that, especially after what they announced. So,
let's talk about it.
There's a new keyword, and it's called a core keyword.
Right.
And it's basically, if it's fluffy, it's gonna get the core keyword. So it cannot. It's like what the army is supposed to consist of. So if it's a troop-heavy army, you most likely all your troops are gonna have that core keyword. If it's like a fast attack type army, it's probably going to have some fast attack units with the core keyword. So like your Frenzian Wolves, bro, that you've been wanting to be troops, they might not be troops, but they might get this core keyword. And the way they do this is they're going to change the auras of all the commanders so they only affect units with the core keyword. Wow. So like executioners, like crazy tanks and stuff, like the repulsors, like sitting back and shooting and getting all these rerolls from the captains, that's not fluffy. So they're not going to get the core keyword.
Mm-hmm. They actually in their article actually specifically say for Codex Necrons and for Codex Space Marines, Terminators will have it, Lich Guard will have it, Bike Squads will have it, Tomb Blades will have it, even rare vehicles will have the core keyword.
Interesting. So where's it? I saw you guys talking about this in our one of our other threads, Chris, and I saw that you weren't necessarily stoked for this for the Gene Stealers, because this also speaks to the idea that characters won't buff themselves anymore.
Correct. They actually provided some images. I threw some in the Warp Charge chat, but there nasty. Are literally diagrams where they're showing a captain should, this is literally Games Workshop words. After all, a Space Marine captain should be issuing orders and inspiring units of battle brothers on the front line, not babysitting a squadron of repulsor executioners at the back of the battlefield. They are changing a lot of auras, like rites of battle, while a friendly chapter core unit is within 6 inches of this model. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1.
Oh, that gosh.
Is another change. It looks like they're changing the reroll 1s to not be, all 1s. It might be on a model basis, a model can only roll a single 1 out of its attacks, which may slow down dice rolls, but I've seen this particular point discussed because it's a little open to interpretation whether that means reroll all 1s or each specific model will reroll 1, a single 1 per combat phase or shooting phase.
Yeah, trippy. I don't hate these things. So, was it because of the fact that the characters that you like to take with the Gene Stealers, you don't necessarily like what they buff, but you like them themselves and them buffing themselves, but not necessarily the things that they would buff, right? Is that what you were trying to say?
I was in relation to this rant, had gone on a separate rant because one of the other changes they're making with detachments that we've seen is that, you know, for a detachment of Space Marines, you'll only be able to take one captain and up to 2 lieutenants per detachment.
Okay.
Similarly to, you know, how like Tau commanders are restricted.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my hill to die on rants that I really hate for Gene Stealer Cult is, since they've gotten their last codex, you can only take one of any character per detachment. Like, we can't double up on any characters, like 0. It's kind of awful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty fluffy. It's pretty narrative. But the areas I hated are for the bodyguard and the Sanctus assassin model, which doesn't super make sense that you only can take one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else I get the argument for, but those 2, I'm like, just let me spam them.
See, I see your point of view, but for me, this gives me high hopes for Mono God. High hopes.
It's optimistic. It's optimistic.
No,
for sure.
it might be optimistic, but if everything's going to be these core keywords that's going to get you to like be one thing, I mean, why not be one god?
Yeah, I'd like to hope for sure.
I really do think they're going to do some stuff to slow this game down, though. The reroll ones, also like Necron's reanimation changing to using it every time they get attacked.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. We haven't talked about that one yet either, but that wasn't a White Dwarf.
That's just the nastiest thing I've ever heard of, but it makes sense. It's like that's borderline broken.
Do we not? We don't have that officially yet. It's coming.
No, we just have a White Dwarf like side page little
blurb.
Yep, just saying that every time they get attacked, they roll reanimation.
Yeah, that's gross.
So if there's one guy left at a 20-man blob of warriors, and you somehow don't kill that guy, they all just get to reanimate. It's just
and they
so
might have
gross.
+2 to their reanimation, which means that they're coming back on 3s instead of 5s.
That'll be frustrating. I mean, at this point, like, we're ready to see them shine, you know, but hey.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrating, dude. That's going to feel fucking broken.
What else is new?
Make sure you finish off those Necron units, because you don't want them coming back.
Oh, dude. Just the idea of, like, double swinging on them. Like, you swing once, they reanimate. You swing again, they reanimate. And it's like, fuck, I got to spend the 3 CP just because these motherfuckers that reanimated?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'll be interesting. So is it after the resolution of, like, so, like, I got a guy, shoot 20 shots. And then
shoot 20 shots.
And then they reanimate after those 20 shots or at the end of the phase?
After those 20 shots. It's, the way that these Necron fans are talking is going to be after the 20 shots. Then you do another unit to shoot at them. After that unit's finished shooting, they get
reanimated again. Jeez, nah, that's crazy.
That is the way the White Dwarf made it sound, yeah.
I mean,
so they didn't give us the breakdown.
That makes sense. I mean, it's kind of feel no pain.
I mean, reanimation was a joke currently.
Yeah,
like a joke. But
that's like scary. Yeah, that's like the Terminator movie, like when he just keeps running that fast.
But isn't that what it's supposed to be? Wouldn't that make it fluffy?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm okay with it. It sounds cool. But all I'm saying, they better make pink horrors be that cool. Hey, we've been trying to split forever. That's like
you have pink horrors or something, George?
Yeah, come on now. I'm ready, 90 deep with like 180 fucking blues and brims. Let's go.
Ready for it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, though, that kind of play is super. Like, in Age of Sigmar, I can already bring my entire horror collection, which is like over 200 horrors, and it is the most laborious thing ever. So have fun, Necron players, as they spam a bunch of troops, and they're constantly like, oh my god, reanimation, let me take them off, let me take them on again. They won't care, though. They'll be loving it and laughing gleefully.
Yeah, well, I think the strategy is going to be combat. You just get too close to them where they can't reanimate.
You know, I'm about that.
Oh yeah, that's immediately what I thought of, because I've already put Necron players in that position before. Just surround them so they can't reanimate, and then now you're just like, I don't care that you got this new shit. Still can't reanimate.
Take that.
That'll also further just make mechanics. There's not many of them, but there's at least 2 in the game right now where you like shut off other people's auras, because like even if they reanimate, if you turn off their like +2 to reanimation, like, hey, who cares? Like,
Yeah,
you're
you
still
do
gonna
it.
get
Do the Forbidden
several
Gem. You do the Admech Flyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that'll be interesting. Yeah, so I mean, with the Marines, the Necrons, and just the aura keywords, like I'm basically like, give it to me. I should already have this stuff.
Oh, I'm with you, dude. All this, like, to say you're gonna come out with a new edition.
Yeah,
Come out with a new edition.
exactly.
Yeah.
Don't make us beta test it for you again.
Yeah, I mean, this has been extremely painful. Just drag along the coals here as we wait for it to happen. I've had a good time, but like the game has gotten stale basically until they fix it. I'm glad that Chris is getting in there, but
long has 9th been out now? 2 months?
no longer than that.
Too long for them to continue being doing this.
We had a 9th. No, yeah, because in July 1st we had started an 8th edition, and halfway through July was 9th. Yeah, like third week of July, maybe you're right into August. Yeah, so I guess not that long, right? 2.5 months.
That's
2 months.
still like,
Yeah.
it's such a weird place the game has been in for 2.5 months, and I think I guess brought up every show, but like that time factor is compounded by the situation that be with the world.
Yeah.
And I think we all agree that like this whole limbo universe the game exists in right now is just, it's not good for the game. Like the game, most gamers are not happy with the current situation, even if their army is good.
And hell, dude, even if we do just say 2.5 months, for the two seasons of tournament leagues, the 16 pods we've had at 40K, that's over 100 games played by over 100 participants. There's a lot of action being had yet still, and the diehards that are eating 40K every day, we're fucking sick of it. We need some action, and especially the release schedule. Even with the new shit we're about to get, it's still just the same old bullshit. Right? The Necrons are the only like breath of fresh air. But we've still been, since last year. I mean, I swear to God, I've been learning about Necrons since fucking 2019. Is that not true? How long have we been talking about this?
That seems accurate-ish. I mean, I feel, I gotta be honest.
Since March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been this whole goddamn year for sure. And it's just like, can we get there already? Can you put the damn... Even when 9th came out, I was like, dude, if they would have came out with this new Space Marines and Necrons right as they dropped 9th, I'd have been like, fuck yeah, that's the way to do it. Change this whole game. Instead, it was like, here's 8th to 9th. There's just like, here is 8th and 9th. That's like, we literally just kept playing 8th and 9th edition. And now we're just starting to see the trickle of a portion of the game receive a 9th edition treatment. And I'm ready for more, before I'm getting super hyped.
So something that they did this past Saturday, because they do their like weekend teases of data sheets and models, to me is kind of revealing about this 9th edition thing so far, because 9 should have been revealed at Adepticon, presumably. And based off what they said on the stream this past weekend, almost all the data sheets and models that we got teased this past weekend should have been teased at Nova. So to me, that's actually kind of indicative that Games Workshop can't really blame COVID for this poor release plan,
right?
Because
they
basically they will, but like they basically have said in their own words, like, hey, like this is the window we intended to release this in.
Yeah.
And it's odd. I mean, there's definitely a weird space factor in terms of everything. I'm very happy myself that I've waited till almost the end of September to get my first game of 9th in, because I don't feel like I've really missed a whole lot.
Yeah. Man, what about the word, like, is it when the Necrons drop? We talked a little bit, there's like some expansion to Crusade and stuff, but like apparently we're going to get 18 more match play missions too.
That's accurate.
And so like, what if, who knows, like all of a sudden it's kill more, score more again. Wouldn't that be whack? Wouldn't it be even more trolly if they're like, back to the 6x4?
Oh my gosh. That'd be the biggest trolly shit ever.
Misprint. Nah, that doesn't work that way.
That would make me laugh enough that I wouldn't actually care.
Yeah, pretty much. I'd be, it's a pain in the ass as a content creator is fucking having to change out my camera, like, space. I got to change all my all my croppings and shit, like, because I go between the 60 by 44 from the 6 by 4. Ugh, it's a pain in the ass. Thanks, GW. And I mean, hell, Kill Team's still sitting in the backdrop, as far as like, will it ever even get updated into the 9th edition world? It's weird. I don't necessarily see myself. Kill Team has been really nice for the channel. I'm not super pumped to go back to play it though. With Necromunda, with Infinity, I've kind of
you showed the pictures before the show, and I saw the Gellerpox, and I saw the Zone Mortalis board you set up, and I was like, is George playing Kill Team again?
Yeah.
I was like, that is not expected.
Yeah, nah, not super pumped to bust it out. It still lives in its like where it left off. Like the game hasn't really gone much further than its last release, which was the Kill Team annual book, and that was like the chapter approved of Kill Team where they consolidated all the White Dwarfs and stuff into one book. And Kill Team Annual was a great book. Kill Team is in a great spot. Like they can just leave it alone. Like it is a good game. It actually has a pretty decent balance to it as well. So like, hey, but Infinity.
Where's all of the new? Where's all the shiny bells and whistles?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That we're just wondering. Just kind of wondering. But yeah, hanging out in the back burner to see what's going on. The fact that there's still more missions to come. I'm curious to see more secondaries, as I think a lot of people are. I'd like the missions in Sigmar are definitely way crazier than the 8th edition missions as far as how much a game can be flipped on its head. I feel like GW likes to play the wild card in Sigmar and just like let shit be kind of bonkers, which is part of the appeal and charm of the game. And they're trying to make 40K as balanced as they can on the mission front anyways, and that can lead to a little bit of stale factor if they don't keep it spicy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It would be fun. I've never got to try it, but I think I sure would. It would be a whole different game to play 9th edition rules with the ITC format. I would love to go back to playing ITC missions and just fucking play it with 9th edition rules, to be honest, just to have something spicy to do. It would build different lists,
Yeah, I just want that new Forge World book.
Oh yeah, isn't that something we got told about?
Yeah, so I mean, they even showed the cover, and I mean, on stream they showed the Games Workshop affiliates holding copies of both the Space Marine Codex and the Necron Codex and the Forge World book.
Oh.
Like, the books are printed. They're all printed. Like they exist. Like it's not like Games Workshop is gonna be like at the editor like, oh, don't forget to fix it. Like it's done. Everything's already made.
Yeah.
But the Forge World book, we didn't get a date on it. I would love to. I think they said it was still in 2020. So whether that's for the holiday season or close to Codex drop, it'll sell some copies for sure. I mean, even if they slap a price tag of like $120 on a book, people will buy it.
That'd be ridiculous.
People will absolutely buy it, especially since it has all of the Forge World in it, unlike the split books currently.
Oh my God! If they try to put out a $120 book, I'll be. Dude, I feel so bad for new players. Like I had somebody, trying to ask me what books to buy. They can barely tell them to even buy a damn book right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it.
They're like, it's really hard to support buying these books when they just go out of date in 6 months. I'm like, I hear you, bro.
I mean, and you're 100% right. And it's probably not helping the fact that it's so easy for many people to find, pirated copies in this digital age. Like, their markups are unnecessary, and if anything, I think it's one of those factors. Like, I think a lot of the piracy that happens of their books is not because,
right,
people want to pirate, but because their prices are prohibitive in some cases. Like,
yeah, Or you might say asshole-ish. They are kind of assholes. But
Shouldn't feel like a proctologist visit when you want like a $20 digital copy of a book, you know?
that you only need 4 pages out of.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Hell, let me buy the pages. I'll pay you $10 a page, and I'll still save money.
Golly. And then they misprint it anyways.
That's the truth.
I'm saying, dude.
Got Roll in chat asking, do you think they slow played the rule changes to prevent rage quitting? I remember getting mission cards with objectives that freaked out so many players. I got many great models cheap. I don't
know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I personally don't think they're trying to stop rage quitting.
Well,
because...
just think about the Space Marines, though. Space Marines to Primaris Marines. Do you think that the release of how they've done Primaris and how they wrote a whole story to insert versus just change the models? They could have just said, here's the new Marine kit. Your old Marine kits look dumb. You could still use them, but here's the new kit.
I really wish they did that.
But no,
me
too. But instead of doing that, they acted like it was a part of the master plan the whole time to have Primaris Marines hit the scene and that everybody was going to be okay and could still use their old toys. It's going to be fine. I think they very much did mitigate the feel-badsy rage quit situation there, and I don't put it past them to do it again.
Yeah, but Marines players aren't people.
Ain't that the fucking truth? Yeah, I'm talking to each and every one of you.
Yeah, I don't like them either. Space Wolves don't count.
They're part dog.
Yeah, if you're running Primaris Space Wolves, then I mean you gotta look yourself in the mirror, right? That's everybody else's own decisions. I don't know. Honestly, I think the way they released I have no idea. GW is so weird about how they will take. If there's a chance that one way makes more money than the other, I feel like the money wins over the chance that people are going to be upset. They're like, money piss people off. They're like, how can we kind of do both? Like, we're gonna piss them off, but like we're gonna make them think it's kind of not our fault at the same time. I don't know. They trickily try to not piss us off too much while knowing they're going to.
I think it's kind of like a tightrope, you know, like they want the money, but every once in a while they like toss us like, you know, like a scrap of, you know, like of food just to be like, look, like, see, we're just really incompetent. Like, hold on, like there's some good here, I promise.
Yeah.
And but give us more money. And
we're just a small fish in a big pond, guys. Like, you know, don't mind us. Just buy.
But I will keep buying because they made Tyranids, and I love those damn little boys.
I hear you. It's crazy how, like today, I was looking at the wall today. I was looking at your Hierophant. I was looking at your Hero Jewel. My buddy just got a Tau Supremacy Armor, KX-139 Supremacy Armor, if you remember the Forge World Tau model.
Damn right.
Gargantuan Squiggoth, just to keep naming a few, you know. There's some big-ass, beautiful models that people collect that just sit on the shelf for a long, long time.
They come out once a year, bro.
Yeah.
Once a year for an Apocalypse game.
Yeah. Man, Chris and I, we played. I think we played we played a few K-pop games several times a year, Chris. Not this time.
Well, we're gonna have to get in a 9th edition APOC game.
That'd be fun.
Like not the 9th
actual APOC
edition
rules.
APOC rules. I'd rather just try it out like the 9th edition. The new APOC was a little too clunky for me.
I don't think I'd go back to it. Yeah, I was excited to try it, but we crossed that bridge. We're done.
Your shit sucked, GW.
Yeah, it just felt kind of forced and fake.
Here's APOC. It's more accessible, but not really.
Yeah, prepare to have an entire 6x4 dedicated to your data management. It's like literally we had cards spread out across an entire 6x4 to just try to play that game. We did bring 16,000 points aside, so I mean that's our fault. But
yeah, that's true. And you know, like other things that we're going to be seeing unrelated to specifically APOC, but based off another question. Like we are going to be seeing a lot of things with Storm Shields going to 2-up saves and 4-up inbones, so that'll be interesting. I got a Space Wolf specific question on that. Will they be competitive though? I still think Space Wolves are built on the backs of Wolfen. Like,
Yeah.
That's why their army is good as Wolfen.
Better stay that way too. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Thunderwolf Cav. Just Thunderwolf Cav and Wolfen and Fenrisian Wolves and the Dreadnoughts, Bjorn, Ragnar, not Ragnar, but Murderfang. You can throw Ragnar in there too. Just don't make Primaris Space Marines take over my fucking faction. I do not want to run Impulsors, Repulsors, Eradicators, any of the Primaris assholes. I want to run Thunderwolf Cav, Dreadnoughts, and Wolfen.
Nope. You're gonna run some assholes.
I know they're gonna force it on me. No. I so far I've even min-maxed out Ragnar and Judicars. I'm like, I don't need those guys. Get out of here.
Isn't the Judicar a Primaris Space Marine?
He is. I was giving his rules are too good not to take. I know. I was sliding him in there. I don't mind like one character. Like Ragnar.
You're dry brushing bases. You're running lone Primaris Space Marines in your list. I don't even know if I know you anymore, George.
I know it's bad, dude. I hate it.
Oh wow.
It's okay.
Sound like someone being forced to do something against their will.
Just bad touch by Games Workshop.
Bad touch, huh?
I can only take so much of. You should just bring a Judicar, and then you wouldn't have that problem. You know how good.
About 9 inches.
Don't you know how good a Judicar is? Bring this. And I'm like, yeah. Well, I want to play Wolfen. They're like, okay, if you want to not play the better thing, I'll go watch this other channel where they play the right stuff. It happens.
Oh man,
it's true. Yeah, and there's a whole funny conversation about just building to your collection. That's how I think a lot of people, I would honestly say the majority of people build the most competitive thing they can to the collection they own. There's the common person will spend a large investment of time, effort, money into getting 2,000 points or 3,000 points worth of collecting models, and they'll stick with those models and try to build lists for years, inserting in as minimal amount of investment as they can because they've already got
this guy.
Yeah, right here too, buddy.
I'm
but I'm a mono army guy.
Yeah, so even less to worry about.
So I'm straight up. I only have one god, and it's not even a full army.
Yeah, so our way of being competitive, and most people's, is to do the best you can with what you have, and that's not just monetarily or even just as the army itself, but what GW gives us, which sometimes is a very, very small straw.
Or no straws.
Yeah.
They just say we pick you to be the weakest link.
Yeah, sometimes that happens for months.
Yo, that's on that mono faction rant. Freaking. That is one way that with all the Necron love, Necron players got done so dirty. Because, we're
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have to basically buy an entire new army worth of models to even play the faction.
Every single Necron player has to buy a new fucking army.
A whole new one. They're like, I have APOC level Necrons, and you're telling me that everything that's worth anything I have to buy completely from scratch.
You like rates? Here's these things that look like rates and do the same job as rates, but are not rates.
Oh, hey, and how about months after they gave you all that stuff, they're like, hey, we're gonna come with these other things that look exactly like rates.
Yeah.
And they just have destroyer bodies on them.
Dude.
Yeah.
Assholes. Mike's in the chat. Screw you. Yeah, there's assholes, dude.
Dude, they should have just recycled everything.
They look great, but it is a lot of yeah.
Dude, this trend's never gonna end. Wait till they drop out the new Orc Boys.
You stay away from Tyrion, damn it.
No, they're gonna come out with new fluff, so it's gonna be
Primaris
two
Orc
Orc
boys.
boys.
Yeah, they're like they saw the Orc, they saw the Primaris do it, and they're like, we could do it too.
Ooh,
new models.
you must paint us all red.
Yeah. Oh, have fun, Orc players.
Oh Jesus! I just hope
Yeah.
Tyranids don't need a single Primaris Marine.
Tyranids already have more models than anyone should have.
Yeah, it's gonna cycle back to them.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll never end. They're always gonna make us buy more shit, and that's just how it is.
Mike is big mad now.
I'm big mad now. It's so true though, buddy. Primarinids. Nice stuff.
Yes. Happening.
Yeah.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
They're
They're
faction
like,
near you.
you know, Gene Stealers are cool, but what if they had wings?
That's like they had the Carnifex fake data sheet where it was like they had some kind of like fake Devourer profile where it was literally just a dick
Yeah.
for like the strength.
That's funny.
Yeah, because it was like strength dash 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 D, and like they made it. It was great. It was well played.
That's funny. And then Mike's like, damn it, I have 140 Steelers too.
Yes.
He's getting
Get him,
wrecked,
Mike.
getting wrecked right now. That's where they say, like, what should I buy? Well, you better like it a lot.
Just remember, Mike, you sold your Dark Angels for those Necrons.
Well, I probably weren't Primaris, so you're
Hey,
fine.
if
They
he would
were.
have had his Dark Angels, he would have had to buy new ones for the Primaris one.
True.
Yeah, it's true. Those bastards. So, Infinity. I'll be ranting about it, man. On the 25th, like 9 more days, we're gonna get our new army builder. It's gonna be crazy. Can't wait.
So not next week's show, but the show after that.
Yeah, and then I won't shut up about it, I'm sure. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah. Gonna continue to study Necromunda just for the sake of getting
Bits and
my
jiggles.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool to. The more games you digest, I feel like I become a better player the more games I learn.
Dude, you are a better player, George.
Thanks, James.
Except when you're playing Austin.
I really am not good at beating Austin. I've only done it like once ever.
I don't think a lot of people are probably great at beating Austin, to be fair.
No,
but,
I
mean,
do
yeah.
think my best chance is going to be Sigmar. Like it's interesting. His Beastclaw Raiders, I actually learned how to play Sigmar versus my friend's Beastclaw Raiders, and I've played against them many a times. So like he hasn't fought what I can do, and I fought what he can do a lot, and he doesn't really have the same in-game experience.
Home field advantage.
You're cheating.
I just have a home field advantage. Yeah. No.
Cheating.
I'm going to cheat. I'm just not cheating yet.
Just remember, sometimes when you club baby seals, they have teeth. They will bite.
Yeah. Bite your dick off.
Woo! That's a blowjob I don't want to want.
No. Carnifex with wings, get your new kits. Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. That'll be Sunday. I don't think there's anything scheduled between here and there. We'll see if anything pops off. Again, I've been kind of laying low, only playing pod games. The next thing will be after. I think Thursday of next week is when Austin's going to fight his finals match for 40K, and then round 2 will pop off for the 40K finals, and you'll get to see the demon list. I highly recommend going to watch the Demons vs Salamanders match that's on the channel. It was badass. I really enjoyed it. There is the Bloodthirsters fought. Who the hell did I fight on camera?
Nobody.
I fought somebody. I'm checking now. I can't stop thinking about it.
So
There's
George-
there's an Age of Sigmar one too. Yeah.
Topical question on the pods.
Yeah.
Knowing that you won your last game, of the winners so far, do you feel like you have a preferred matchup?
Good question, Chris. Let's find out actually. And what's interesting is I kind of submarined. I scored only like 42 points, and my opponent only got 34. Like it was a very low scoring, high denial game. So I'm going to be fighting whoever scores the lowest in round 2. And also to mention the Age of Sigmar match I was trying to think of that I also highly recommend, that was an excellent battle, is Age of Sigmar Khorne versus Slanesh. 3 Keepers of Secrets versus 5 Bloodthirsters. It was an awesome match.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
It was super cool. And we fought on that sweet lava map I showed you, and it turned out to be the realm of fire. And there was like everything was volcanic, and it was badass. Anyways, check that out. There's some good bat reps up. Finals. Here we go. Roster. You're saying who do I think I have the best? Who do I want to fight most?
Yes.
Next.
Who are you hoping to get paired up with of the winners so far?
So we
Who
got.
do you think's a bitch?
Ooh. So I got Sisters, Eldari, and then it's between Austin's Chaos or Daniel Kennedy's Admech.
Sisters are terrifying. I'll be honest. Those miracle dice. Every time I've played against them so far, I'm just like, why does this keep happening?
Yeah, I'm not as familiar enough with Sisters. Honestly, they usually surprise me. Like low profile, like small looking models with a low toughness. I'm usually like, meh, chumps, smash them.
There's a few ways they can build them, but like it's either like, hey, I have a giant horde of models that all have a 4-up invuln, or like, hey, I have some tanks, and that Triumph of St. Catherine is just, you get so many more miracle dice. Thing is shockingly durable.
Yeah.
It's just all kinds of crazy tricks. They're a good army.
I'm not, I was already real worried about salamanders, so I've kind of like taken one of the big ones to the chin already.
That is a big one to the chin.
Yeah, so I'm feeling pretty good. So far I went against Astra Militarum with tank commanders to the brim. I went against fucking Farside Enclave Tau that jumped into my. No, I did it was just Tau. Tau. Guard, orcs, and frickin' salamanders. So a big wide net right now. I don't know. I think the Eldari and Sisters, they both can bug me. I think I probably know the tricks better from the Drukhari Eldari combo. Like I'm just more familiar with fighting Eldari, so I think I kind of would face that.
You heard it here, Eldari player. George is calling you out.
You the bitch.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that one. That'd be a good one. That's with my buddy Jason too, who lives like 2 hours away, who's still been participating in the pod system, even though he's like 2 hours away. Pretty impressive. Yeah, so maybe Eldari or Sisters. I'm probably not ready for the Admech or Austin's Chaos. I'd like to save that to last.
Mm-hmm. Save for last. More like they're waiting for you.
I'm pretty much nervous about all my games from here. But winning my 4th match, I was pretty proud of, again, especially against Salamanders, who I have not been able to beat yet. So pretty cool. He took a really a denial list too. Like he made sure that he didn't have. Oh yeah, that's my other favorite secondary is Assassinate. But he made sure to not bring enough characters to give Assassinate points away. He didn't bring enough vehicles to bring them down away. It was very challenging. Couldn't get Abhor the Witch against him. So all my favorite killing secondaries he had denied with his list building. Yeah, so great stuff. There's some good matches to be seen on the old channel. What else is cool out there? That's pretty much you can see the Demons versus the Orcs. That match was just brutal. Just, 1,000 points coming from Deep Strike. It's usually a win-lose scenario. Yeah, and so far it's won. There hasn't been any losing yet, but I haven't failed any charges, so there you go. It is definitely nice being able to re-roll all 3d6 for 1 CP nowadays. I'll tell you that. And gaining a CP a turn.
Definitely. That's already stuff that I'm calculating for my game on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Where I hopefully don't get wrecked by Admech. We'll see, though.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Good luck. I saw that you were showing talking some tech, Chris. There's some folks out there that stream your way, and you might be able to get on some bat reps or what?
Yeah, so I've moved to what apparently is TJ Lanigan's backyard.
Okay.
He plays and streams up here with the Steel City Legion Cats, and Dom Ensgall. I'm probably murdering his last name.
Uh-huh.
But he's in charge of most of the local events out here, and as well as like streaming. So I was talking some tech with him today, just like programs and camera stuff. I've watched a few of their bat reps. They have some really, 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 really pretty terrain and overlays, but I mean, that's even something I commented on with him. Like, dude, that green screen dice cam tray thing is just. I don't understand why more channels don't do it because it's such a wonderful feature.
Maybe because of the cost of another camera.
A lot of people do camera trays, though. You know, there is a lot of dice tray channels where they have a separate dice tray, but they just don't put the green screen overlay on it, which is really easy to do. I'm kind of glad more people don't do it just because we can be unique. But God, it is easy. Just guys, you point a camera at one location and you paint that location green, and then you turn the green screen on. Ta-da! Use orange dice. Yeah. It's been an hour. It's been a good time. We've made it through another week, 119. I don't even remember celebrating the 2-year anniversary of the show. Do you guys? I remember the 1 year. Maybe I remember 52, but I don't remember 104.
I think we did. We said something.
We were probably happy about it.
We're happy about most things because we play video games and dice games and go fishing and we're just enjoying life because we take fun seriously.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah. Taking fun seriously also means reading your rules, friends.
Hey, and also your fishing regulations.
Yeah, brush your teeth, assholes.
Yeah, and wear deodorant.
Yeah, wash your fucking hands and stay in school and stuff.
Make sure you wipe your ass properly.
Yeah, it's been a good time. Well, yeah, appreciate everybody. It's awesome to see the homies out there. Poxus, good to see you, buddy. Paul, good to have you. Mike, thank you. Tao, Dark, great to see you. Raw, good to see you. You've been a regular. I appreciate you coming by and stopping by and everything. Go check out those old bat reps. Come and see some more. We'll see you for episode 120 next week. But big love. Appreciate y'all. Take